Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you're here today, I'm excited to be here. And I'm here not for the crowd. I'm here for one person, for two people, for three people who are here and are about to begin their second half of the year. And I want to be able to help as much as I can to help shift your energy into operating this remaining half like it was a full year. You know, the excitement that surrounds January 1. At the beginning of every year, everyone is excited. We're forming New Year resolutions. We're all dreamy. We're looking forward to an amazing year. And that's how we do every year. But many of us don't realize how powerful July 1 is. That July 1 is such an amazing time as well. And, in the beginning of the year, we have 7 days conference, January 1 to 7. And we have 10 days events. And we have 40 days fasting. And we have so many things lined up very early in the year to plan for the stretch of the year. But not many people remember that there's an opportunity for a repeater station in, on the 1st of July. And that as seriously as they're taking January, by the time you get halfway, your energy is halfway as well. And you need some re-energizing and resuscitation to get yourself back to full pump. And that's what we want to do today. We want to be able to say, you know what? Interestingly, this year has not been like any other year. And it's not only for you, it's for everybody around the world. So it's been a very interesting year. So there have been, there's Black Lives Matters going on now. There's COVID-19 around the world. There are wildfires in a few places. This year has come with its own extra pairs of curved balls, and people have been juggling those balls. Travel companies did not know what was coming to hit them. Real estate companies did not know what was about to happen. Our entertainers did not know what was going to happen. The whole world is thrown into some kind of uncertainty. Are we on lockdown? Are we on lockdown? Are we not on lockdown? What exactly is going on is the question on many minds. And I want to congratulate you for being here today, because today we want to plan for second half. I want to do this in a very interactive way. So this is not me coming here to come and teach you 20 ways or 17 ways. We want to talk very practical things. We want to take people's real life examples and use it as a case study to help you reconfigure for this second half. As important as January 1 is, July 1 is also important because it offers you an opportunity to look at the last 6 months and ask yourself, what has happened to me this year? And then be able to plan and say, in the next 6 months, I want these things to happen. This is an opportunity to adjust, to readjust, to check what is working, what is not working, and what can I do better. Every football match usually has 2 halves, and many games too. Once the first half is done, you quickly get into the dressing room with your coach, and then with your coach, you're able to share together and say, what are we doing? We're 2 goals down. What do we need to do to raise the stakes? What do we need to do to get things better? And all of that. So the same way, we are in our dressing room now. And everybody who is here in this presentation today, we are together in this dressing room. I want to look at the next 6 months and ask, what do we need to do to make it work? Now, this is supposed to be very tailor-made for everybody. So we don't want to have a cookie cutter experience where I come and I share a variety of things. I want to engage with you. I want you to respond, and I want people to throw up particular issues that can be generic to a number of people. We'll deal with them. We'll deal with as many as we can deal with over the space of the next 50 minutes, and then bam, we're done. So today I want to be practical and say, we have been playing a match for 6 months, and this match, we've been on the bench for most of it because lockdown, because children are not in school, we're bonding with our families, a lot of things are happening. But how do we take, this session we want to have today and hopefully tomorrow and ask ourselves, how do we reorganize our energies? How do we organize our energies and ensure that we're back to full productivity and we're ready to run? Now, it's not going to happen by stroke of luck. It's not going to happen by chance. It's going to happen because you and I are intentional and we are deliberate. So what I want to help us to do today is get intentional and get deliberate to ensure that this 2020 can still end up as an amazing year. If you believe that this year will be an amazing year for you, it's going to be an amazing year nonetheless. You're going to make the most of it. Can you type yes in that window there and say it's going to be an amazing year? And while we're getting ready with our thoughts and our questions, I'd like to ask a few questions as we progress, and I would like to share a few stories because so that you can link up with the stories and begin to do a few introspection with those stories as well. So the first thing I would like to ask you, I can see the yeses there, well done. The very first thing I'd like to ask you is, 6 months are gone this year. What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? And, I'm sure there's a lot of negativity that people throw around. This is not one of those meetings. This is a coaching session. call it. It's a session in the dressing room with all the footballers and all the players. And we're asking ourselves in this dressing room, what are you grateful for? In the last 6 months of this year, what are you looking at and you're feeling like, wow, I'm grateful that happened? Just put there in that window one or two things that you're grateful for, three things you're grateful for. You can copy everybody if you want, or you can just send it directly to me. If you send it to all panelists, I'll see it. If you send it to everybody, then everybody will see it. Okay, so what are you grateful for? Now, many of us have many things to complain about, but guess what? The things you're complaining about do not fuel you. Okay, they sap you. The things that fuel you are the things that you're excited about. And that's why, they encourage people that, when you get up in the morning, sometimes sing, sometimes dance, sometimes pray, because when you are praising, when you are excited, when you are grateful, you're actually releasing, the medical people will tell us, is it endorphins or what are releasing? You're actually releasing things that give you positive energy and help you, stay motivated to achieve what you want to achieve. So what exactly are you grateful for? Somebody says, I'm grateful for life. Somebody says, I'm grateful to the people that God, people gave to me, people gave me. Somebody says, I'm grateful for the gift of life. Okay. Somebody understands life because, in this season is when you understand life because you could have lost it. Yeah. Somebody says, I'm grateful for life. Somebody says, I give to people. Somebody says, I'm grateful for life and for being a member of this team. Okay. Someone's excited and be part of a team that is positive, that is moving forward. I'm grateful for life, for family, and for friends. People are grateful for life, for family, and for Green Monday. Thank you very much. Always grateful for life. So for coming into the TGM community. Awesome. Family, my job, and my TGM business. Excellent. I'm grateful for this awesome opportunity. Lovely. So I'm grateful to be presented by the Green Mondays business. Okay, the level of information gathered in the last 4 months. Okay, so people have gathered information, people have recovered from sicknesses, people are grateful for friends, for family, for life, people are grateful for their business, for the pivots, they're grateful for sound health, they're grateful that despite all the issues, they're still standing. Thank you very much for that person. Grateful for life and health, family, and to be part of the Green Mondays. I'm grateful for life. Awesome. Wow. Okay, great. For the opportunity to develop myself, for financial inclusion. Okay, now there's so many things to be grateful about. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we don't grow bigger by concentrating on the things that we are unhappy about. Okay, we move into a larger, fuller space when there are things that we're unhappy about, there are things happening to us that we don't like, but by focusing on the things that give us positive energy, that give us momentum, that give us drive, guess what? We are able to achieve more, do more, and we're able to find the resource and the energy that is required to take the next steps in our lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are grateful for those things, amazing. Okay, all those things that keep you positive, all those friends that give you positive, all those things that give you energy, let's focus on them. I like a scripture that says, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think of these things, because the things that we think about will either grow us or shrink us. If you are thinking about the things that are finishing, you will be in panic mode. But if you are thinking abundance, if you're thinking there's a lot available for everyone, guess what? You move into an open space where a lot more is possible. Our words are usually, many of us don't understand that we have a gift of prophecy. Okay, and I'll tell you, whether you like it or not, you have a gift that the things you say have the propensity to set in motion a spiral of coincidences that eventually make those things come to pass. Okay, now say that again. The things you say have a strong effect in creating some coincidences, in creating and stirring into being some things that eventually will bring what you have said to come to pass. And how do I know this? I know this because how everything is created, everything that is seen today, everything that is visible today was first invisible. Everything that became something, first of all, existed in invisible form, and the only way it began to make its way into the visible form, and including this pen, including this product, okay, everything, first of all, did not exist physically before it existed. Now, before it existed physically, there was a place it existed. It existed in somebody's thought. That thing that is invisible, first of all, makes its way into the thought. And then it is when the thought becomes impressed upon the universe that things are created. Now, you and I have thoughts. And our thoughts, there's liquid thought, there is gaseous thought, and there's solid thought. Okay, so there's gaseous thought, there is liquid thought, and there is solid thought. And the pathway from which it becomes from gaseous to solid, I'll describe it to you. So you have the gaseous thought, which is at the realm of invisible and unseen. You have the liquid thought, which is at the realm of spoken words. At the moment that you vocalize something, the moment you document something, those thoughts are no longer in their gaseous form, they have gained some matter. And then you have the third form, which is action. So we go from thoughts to words to actions, from thoughts to words and to action. And that the things you carelessly say and the things you carelessly say have the capacity to create a spiral of another kind of action. So very importantly today, it is important that we look first of all at the things we are grateful about, the things that we rejoice about, the things we are happy for, because guess what? When we are excited about those things, we will begin to say the things that make sense to create the kind of actions that we want to create. So our starting point today is, what are you grateful for? And I can see that we are grateful for so many things, for family, for health in this pandemic. Can you imagine that many of us in the last 4 months, in the last 3 months, have not had any reason to go to any hospital? Somehow our own internal self-renewing system has helped us to renew. We are on our feet, we are strong, we are pushing ahead. You know, some of us are not earning as much as we earn normally, but guess what? We have life. In this meeting today, I know people in this meeting who have had life-threatening challenges, literally life-threatening challenges. And over the course of the last 1 month, 2 months, they have bounced back. In fact, people don't even know what they've been through. Okay, but guess what? We have a lot of things to be grateful for. Okay, we have a lot of things to be grateful for, and we are in second half. And in the second half, as we come into this, this dressing room, it's time for us to begin to now say, you know what? Now I'm in this dressing room. What can I do to begin to recreate the full picture that I had at the beginning of the year for the rest of my year? Or what opportunity do I have to readjust where I am and see what else is possible for me? So the first thing is, we first of all look at the things that we're grateful for. Yeah. And then I'm sure you're thinking in your mind, okay, what about the things that are happening in reality? And I'll tell you the story that I shared with you. I said, a father told his daughter, I said, why are you looking so gloomy? He said, what can you see here? He said, I can see potato. He said, what I used to say, I can see an egg. He said, what can you see? He said, I can see coffee. And then he put all of them in hot water. And ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that this year has been a year of hot water. Yeah. And then the hot water happens to you, there are three interesting responses. The potato got hardened by the water, by the boiling water. Sorry, it got softened by the boiling water. The egg got hardened by the boiling water. And guess what? The flavor of the coffee was revealed by the boiling water. Now, we've had a tremendous, year for the last 6 months. Has been interesting. But guess what? At the end of this 6 months, this is 01/07/2020. Are you coming out with flavors? Are you coming out soft? Or are you coming out hard? Okay. And that choice is not for life to make. That choice is for you to make. Okay. And you make those choices by looking at your life. And so after we are grateful, we now ask ourselves, what is possible for me this year? So what is possible for me this year? By the time this year ends, what will be possible for me? What will I achieve? Now listen, you can choose your future based on your past. Okay. It is called linear progressive thinking. Or you can choose your future based on your desires. It is called breakthrough thinking. It means I can allow my past to determine my future. Meaning, I'll tell myself I was in primary 1 last year, I was in primary 2 this year, and next year I'll be in primary 3. That is progressive. Okay? Or I can tell myself, guess what? In the next 1 year, I want to go to primary 6, because I'm telling myself, what are you teaching them in primary 6? How old are they in primary 6? What is their level of education in primary 6? Can I accept, can I accept this reality? Can I break away from this norm and accept this new reality? And I'm going to share something very interesting with you. So, and this is an old story. It's my own personal story, or something that happened to me when I was in secondary school. And I like it because it shows me something that always still happens to us even today. I'll give you. So I left primary school in primary 5. Okay. And those kind of people. So I left primary school in primary 5 and I joined secondary school. Now, while I was leaving primary school, my my mates were in primary 5. I had some of my seniors who were in primary 6. And I felt, my parents felt, it's time for me to do common entrance. Just do it and get out of that place. Okay. For whatever reason, I don't know why they wanted me to do it early. I don't know whether they felt I was too old for my class, but I was doing the common entrance with them and I wasn't doing badly. I was doing well. So I did the exam and I passed. I can still remember my score, 309 over 400. And then I did the interview and I got national merit. I was actually one of the top 2 students from Oyo State for the school that I chose, and I got into school. But guess what? Getting into school, I had this mindset. I had this mental block. And that mental block was, you are young for this class. You are too young for this class. Everybody in this class has a more developed brain because they went from primary 5 to primary 6 before they got to just 1. You went from primary 5 to primary 6, so your brain is not fully developed. And somehow, I found things around me to validate this theory. And how did I validate the theory? I found out that when we're doing our test, I'm not prepared. When we're doing a second test, I'm not prepared. When we're doing our exam for the first term, I will realize that I didn't really do well. But guess what happens? When we get to second term, and I'm reading for second term, I will suddenly look at my books for first term, and I will feel, so what we did last time was so small like this, just 20 pages, and I didn't get everything. Oh, my brain is ready for first term in second term. So I'll tell myself that I'm a year behind, I'm a few months behind. That's why I have a problem. Until one day, say with me, one day something came that shattered my point of view. And that something that shattered my point of view was a friend. I had a friend growing up. I always share this story. I have a friend growing up who were born on the same day. We were born in the same hospital. Our mothers bear the same first name. Our fathers taught courses starting with F. We went to the same secondary school. We went to the same university. Went to the same, got our first jobs in the same company. We had a very interesting life together. And this was at secondary school level. I knew we were born on the same day, August 4. I knew that we had this background together. And guess what? He came to my school. He joined my school. He didn't come in early. He went somewhere else first, joined my school, and we're there together. And boom, first term JSS 2. I look at the results, and this, my friend, came first. And for me, it was like, what? This guy has the same brain age with me. His brain is not older than my brain. It was same August 4. We were born. How come he just came into the school? He didn't even come in with the kind of results I came in with, and he stopped in the class. And then for me, something shattered that day. I realized I can think about my life from the past, or I can make up my mind. It doesn't matter what happened before now. It doesn't matter what is happening comparatively. I can choose my next level. I can choose my next step. It doesn't matter what has happened before now. I can make up my mind and say, you know what? It may not make linear sense to you. If I choose this end, I can have this end. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to realize this. There are things that are limiting your mind. There are things that are holding you back in the current position you have become accustomed to. There are things that are not allowing you to go to the next level. And there are things you have become comfortable with to say, that's my next step. If I do this for 1 year, I should do this next year. If I do this slowly, I should do that slowly. You can break away from all those limiting beliefs by telling yourself, I do not allow my past to choose my future. I choose my future. Many of us today are studying courses that the 16-year-old equivalent of us chose. So you have somebody in the house who is a doctor because at the age of 16, he decided I was going to study medicine. Somebody here is an engineer because at the age of 16, the person said he was going to study engineering. Somebody is an accountant because at the age of 18, their 18-year-old self decided what their 40-year-old self, 50-year-old self, and 60-year-old self will be doing. Many of us find ourselves boxed into decisions we made 30 years ago, not realizing that every day you are alive and awake is an opportunity to make a new decision. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you and I have been given a God-given right to choose our future, not based on our past, not based on decisions we made in the past with low information, but based on every brand new day. I can say, you know what, I want it differently, I want something else, and this is what I choose. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to exercise that in the second half. That as you go into the second half of this year, ask yourself, do I want to maintain the goal that I created for myself in January 1 without the knowledge of what was going to happen? Or do I want to choose a fresh, brand new goal based on my current reality and my current consciousness for where I want to go? Are we together? That, somebody says, why are you stuck where you are stuck? Somebody says, no, I don't do that kind of business. I only do pure water business. Who told you do pure water business? You decided 5 years ago that what was important for you to do was pure water business. You decided that this was what was good for you to do. You decided. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be able to, at the beginning of this half, decide the strategy with which you play, the goal against which you want to play, and how you want to play. You need to be able, at this instant, in this new half, ask yourself, I didn't plan to be 2 goals down, but by the time this half is over, I want to be 2 goals ahead. You can tell yourself, I didn't plan that COVID will happen. I didn't plan that boiling water is going to happen. But now that it's happened, I want to pick up the pieces again and recalibrate and choose a new future. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I can choose. One of the endowments we have, the most significant endowments that differentiates us from animals, is our ability to make choices about how our end will be. The 16-year-old version of you has no right to dictate what the 50-year-old current version of you is doing. The 3 years version of you does not have a right to dictate what the current brand new version of you will do. That today, you need to be able to look at what is in front of you and ask yourself, what do I need to do differently to achieve what I now want to achieve? You know, many businesses do what they call pivot. And I don't know if you've had that term before. I went for a very interesting course in Harvard last year. And in that course that we're doing, they asked us to form a business, all of us, form a team. We formed a team with a few other nationals, formed a business, and they asked us to go out to the streets and meet strangers and begin to sell our ideas. Okay, so we went on the streets of Harvard and we're looking for people, different kinds of people, and say, look, we have a business idea. And they said we must market our idea to the point where the place where we stop is when the person puts a hand in their pocket to give us money. Okay, that we must sell this thing we have not built, this thing that we have in our mind. We must sell it so persuasively that the person needs to want to pay us before we say, just give me your name. Let me write your name down. When we're finished with our prototype, you'll be the first to know. That we must get the conversation to a point where the person is willing to pay before we. And I said, look, as you go out with this business, when you go out with this business and you keep on sharing this business, and I'm teaching you something fundamental that will help you know that you cannot hold on to your past. You must hold on with fresh, you must constantly look at life with fresh eyes, trust God, and be able to ask yourself, where should this go? You know, it's like you're driving a car. You want to go to your house. You go to a particular place, it's blocked. You don't tell yourself, no, I'm going to keep on driving here. When they open the road, I'll pass. No, you recalculate, you renavigate. You know where you're going, you know where the end is, and you must make adjustments in order to achieve your goal. So as I was saying, and this was, when you go out, listen to what people are saying as well. Listen to what the people that you're talking to, listen to the feedback they're giving you. And based on that feedback, by the time you come back to class, you can make up your mind that what I had designed my business to do was something else. And now, based on what I've heard from the customers, I can change my business. Many of us are not going to be more successful than we have the capacity to be because we are afraid of changing our minds. We're afraid of changing our plans. We're afraid of changing our strategy. Many companies started out doing something completely different from what they ended up doing. And I'm sure you've heard that many times before. There's a litany of companies who basically pivoted. They call it pivoting. And the case study on pivots is numerous. That, that YouTube, when YouTube started, YouTube was supposed to be a dating site. YouTube was supposed to be a dating site where people can see themselves face to face. But eventually it has become a video recording site where people can access information. What was that? A pivot. So people go out trying to do something. Groupon, that group that does bulk purchase, discount purchase, started out as something to build, was around the cost. They wanted a cost for people to gather together around the cost, contribute money towards a cost. But somewhere along the line, they realized, no, people are liking this part. And guess what? They pivoted. Yeah, it's called pivot. So ladies and gentlemen, you need to be able to, in 2020, take a pivot with your life. And tell yourself, you know what? Where am I today? What am I doing today? How are things going with me today? And how can I evaluate what has happened in the last 6 months? What has become suddenly more important? And how can I pivot? Ladies and gentlemen, it will look like it changed. It will look like you're modifying, but you must modify. Because one of the creative capacities that God has given us is the ability to look with imagination, to think with conscience, to utilize our self-will and our choice, and to look at ourselves from a third perspective, third view person, as what they call self-awareness, from a third person view, and ask, Adeolu, where are you heading? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask you a question. And this one, you can send it to me directly if you want, or you can send it to everybody else. I'd like you to ask yourself this question and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve at the end of this year? What are the things I want to achieve? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to write it down, but I'd like to show you something. I'd like to show something that you will use to make this happen. So let me see if I can get you this wheel. I like this, my wheel of progress, because I like your goal. I like your goal to be multifaceted. So here's it. I'm sure you can see what's before you, and I'd like you to look at this. So all our lives has, we have different areas in our lives. We have financial, very important. Okay, your financial has to do with your business, has to do with where you make income. You have spiritual, it has to do with your walk with God, your faith, your devotion, your commitment to the creator of the universe, and and worship. Spiritual, you have it, and your life is one, but these wheels help you to be able to track your various roles and consequently your various goals. That's physical, my physical well-being, my health. Somebody looked at me today and say, you have burnt fat, you look trim. Okay, there's a goal. I have a goal, of what my weight should be, of what my look should be. It's physical. Intellectual, my personal development. I have goals for what at the end of the year, what it should look like, what I should look like in development. Should I have read? Should I be certified? Should I have gone through trainings? Am I learning? Am I crushing the leadership course? Am I crushing the business growth course? Am I crushing other things? Do I have things to tick on my list of the things I want to happen to me intellectually? Family. Is there a plan for my family? Is there a plan for my wife? Is there a plan for my spouse? Is there a plan for my children? Is there a level of relationship I want us to have? Is there a project we want to do together? What exactly will my family look like at the end of the year? Socially, my friends, my relations, how is it going to be like? So what are the key things that I want to, measure in my coming year, and what will my life look like at the end of the year? Okay. So, somebody says some people feel that they're too big to sell. If in Harvard they're asking us to go to the streets. Yes, literally, we went to the streets. And I'm hoping that one day we'll organize a training. And I want to do a training on selling, on business. And I will challenge us to go to the streets, and go and practice what we're learning. We're going to do that in network marketing anyway this month. We're going to blow it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you very quickly today, put it there in the window. What do you want to achieve? At the end of this year, what do you want to achieve? So in your business, is there a rank you want to achieve? Your relationship with God, is there a reality you want to achieve? Do you want to disciple somebody else? Do you want to have a life that you duplicate the graces of God upon your life in the person's life? Is there something you want to do physically? Do you want to exercise? Do you want to, do you want to pray more spiritually? Do you want to fast more? Do you want to study your Bible through and through? What exactly do you want to do? Today is half year. We're on day 182, July 1, second half has begun. What will those goals be? What adjustments do you need to make? Remember, this year has not gone to plan, but it doesn't matter. Somebody said everything always looks like a failure in the middle because it hasn't gotten to the end. But guess what? Things will still come together. Things will still come together. It may not look like it, but it will happen. It may not look like it's building momentum correctly. The momentum will happen. There's a new drive that will come as winds beneath your wings starting from this half year. But fortune favors only the prepared. Winds do not blow in favor of a ship without direction. When you set the direction of your ship and you set your sails, you position yourself to be aided by the winds. So what we are doing here today is very, very critical. Okay, that the process of documenting and writing down and saying, this is what I want to happen with the rest of my year is crucial. And ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Don't set small incremental goals. Set big, hairy, audacious goals, and then ask yourself, how shall these things be? Okay, if you are small-minded, you set small goals. The reason why you are small is not because fate has defined you as small. The reason why you are small is because you have not dared to open your mouth wide so that it will be filled. The reason why you are not achieving much is because you are not aspiring to much. The person who put the plane in the crowd, the person who put the ship on the seas, the person who created that magnificent, enterprise does not have two heads. Somehow we have conditioned ourselves to believe my level is this level. Your level is not that level. Your level can be bigger. When you look at the power of Portable, what do you see? Do you see 80 billion or do you see 100 million? Where at what level at what level do your eyes shut down? At what level do you tell yourself that's for people like that? That's for people like me. What have you told yourself is not for you? I want you to challenge those things, because one of the things that changes, like if you listen to leadership yesterday, one of the things that changes your goals is your association. You cannot work with me, ladies and gentlemen, and be setting some very funny goals that may begin to come up and show up here now. Set audacious goals. Don't tell yourself I'm just being realistic. No, you're not being realistic. You're being silly. Okay? And I'm sorry. If your goal is something you can achieve without help, if your goal is something you can achieve without any effort from anybody else, then it's not a good goal. If your goal is something you have all the money to accomplish, then it's not a good goal. Your goal needs to keep you awake. Ladies and gentlemen, I slept this morning at 6 a.m. Why? Goals. Inspiring goals. Exciting goals. I have things I'm doing that in the next 4 years, I'm trusting God that it will be $1 billion value. Yes. Okay. And some of them you don't even know. What am I saying? I'm saying what provides the real index on your life is not your current reality, is your dream. And ladies and gentlemen, dreams don't have tariffs. There's no tariff on dreams. MTN doesn't charge MTN doesn't have a right to charge per minute. Airtel doesn't have, doesn't hold a clue to how many hours you dream. You are free to dream. And there's no limit to that dream. The only limit to that dream is what you consider as normal. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are 30 years old today, if you are 40 years old today, if you are 50 today, if you are 60 years old today, you have learned some stories that you have told yourself. You have learned them, you have mastered them. It's like this, this exercise that we're doing, of putting your hands together. Your right thumb will always be on top if your right thumb is on top. And let's say you don't need to even look at it. Your right thumb will always be on top if you're a right person. And if you're a left person, you don't think about it. Your left one will always be on top if you're a left person. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? To change that narration requires action. And that action is, first of all, getting yourself inspired by a breakthrough goal, by a goal that breaks away from the norm, that doesn't look at where am I coming from and how bad are things, but looks at what is possible and what is available. So, ladies and gentlemen, by the time this year closes, where will you be? What will your life be like? What will you have achieved? So somebody said in their business, and I look at it, and I want you to put it down there. Okay, write it down there. Someone says, I want to be 5-star rank before the end of 2022. Sir, this is a very long time. And I don't know why that is your goal, but it doesn't inspire me. I'm sorry, it's not my goal. But if I can challenge you as your coach in this dressing room, no. 5-star in 2022, too long. 5-star in 2020 makes sense. It makes sense. And what's the plan? Have a plan. And I'll show you an example of a plan. So what I do is I don't set a goal that looks like incremental steps of where I'm going. I set a goal that is breakthrough. So one day, an American president woke up and said, it is time to put a man on the moon. Why? Was it because they had gotten close to the moon? No. Because they asked themselves, what else is a big thing that we can do? And ladies and gentlemen, once you set it as a goal, then your mind, your energy, your resources begins to pursue it. And that is how things become possible. Things don't become, go and check sci-fi movies. They act something in sci-fi and in maximum 20 years is reality. Why? Because once man can conceive it, then it becomes possible. The only thing we cannot achieve is what our minds cannot conceive. Can your mind conceive better than that? Then go for it. And ask yourself, then what price do I need to pay to make this happen? Somebody says, I want to be 4-star by December in my business. I want to develop a motivational speaker and lead people like you. Okay, excellent. Okay, that's not a bad goal. But I'm saying 4-star by December? No. I can see person's name. I'm not mentioning your name. But no. Dream no small dreams. They have no power to stir the soul. Whatever you put as your dream needs to stir you. Ladies and gentlemen, when you talk to a prospect, the prospect is not listening to Adeolu Akinyemi. The prospect is listening to the size of your vision, the size of your dream. What qualifies you to lead is that you are pointing to a place that is big enough to command their attention. It's not who is in front of them. So your capability to convince others and to share the dream and to share the hope and to share the aspiration is connected to what you yourself see. And if what you are seeing is small, then you will hear more no's than yeses. Then you will find it difficult to be able to lead the people that you should lead into your business. Your dream needs to grow. 4-star by December for you, sir. Too small. And you know your name. Okay? You know yourself. I think it's small. Motivational speaker are fantastic. To motivate others is very simple. It's still your vision. What makes you compelling is the power of your vision. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get this product into the hands of 1 million people? Yes, we can. By the time we get this product into the hands of 1 million people, what star will you be? You will be Ruby Director if you're in the party of making it happen. So, how do I ensure that I organize my business, my structure in such a way that this will be done? I want a few ventures I've set up to smoothly run simultaneously at the peak of escalation. Ladies and gentlemen, sounds nice, but if something is a goal, there's a character you must have. And that character you must have is, I must be specific. I must be able to measure it. It must be something that I can envision, that I can achieve. It must be realistic in the sense that I don't need to go to Pluto to get the raw materials to make it happen. And it must be bound by time. Whatever goals you have that cannot be measured are not goals, they are wishes. And if wishes were horses, even beggars will ride. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, we are becoming friends, we are relating together, we are meeting together in these meetings. Something needs to give. Hello, something needs to give. You cannot be the same person you were before. Okay, so one of the beautiful things that we do here, you say ICE, inspire, connect, empower. And I want to inspire you, and I'm telling you, you need to have dreams that will motivate you. You need to have dreams that when you are sharing your opportunity with someone, what you are looking at as where you want to get to is inspiring enough for me to want to be a part of it. And that's some of the things that we have lost in the sense of we don't do so well. Is, you can come and join my business. So what I do, I'm selling. I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to. That's what people tell you. I don't want to sell. What are they saying? They're saying what you're sharing with me is not compelling enough for me. And ladies and gentlemen, it needs to be compelling enough for you. Ask yourself, why am I in this business? What do I want to achieve here? And ladies and gentlemen, you may not have seen money before, but if you sit on a plan and you tell yourself this is what I want to go towards, then you can get there. Now, I don't want your goals to be only financial. I'll show you the wheel. I can do only so much in this class. But the first thing, one, be grateful for where you are. Everything that's happened this year has brought you to an opportune time. You are here today. It's a beautiful place. You are alive and well. There's a lot to be grateful for. You could have died. Yeah? But now that you're alive, what will you do with this life? Dream big dreams. So at the end of this year, what do I want to have happened? At the end of this year, I want the business I'm involved in, I want us to have created at least 3 Ruby directors. 3. It doesn't matter their level today. They can join today and they can be Ruby before the end of this year. I want at least 3 Ruby. At least 3 Ruby directors. If I can stretch one emerald. Now, these are long, audacious, bold goals. But this is what I want. I look at each product and I see that each product has the capacity to sell 100,000 bottles. Has the capacity to sell 100,000 cartons. 1 million bottles each. Now, if we're going to drag the momentum that will make that possible and make that become something that is in every household in Nigeria, the opportunity space of our products is at least 20 million Nigerians. If we get into every space, we'll have gone far, and they are doing their opportunities, it will be crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, if I'm driving to make it happen, what is possible for me as my goal? Okay? Somebody says, I want to be a stockist. I want to attend the life coaching school and begin to coach people. I want to attend HW Leadership Academy. I want to buy a house in Lugbe. I want to, So write them down, list them down. And once you have written them down, what will make the goals sensible or senseless is the strategy and the plan that is placed behind them. So I can tell you today, for example, that by the end of December this year, I want to have done XYZ. I want to have achieved, I want to have been able to get financing of 1 billion naira for the business I'm driving and drive it to a particular level where it has so number of outlets across Nigeria. I want to have built a tech, startup I'm involved with to a point where it does XYZ. I want to have built an agric project I'm involved in to go XYZ. I want to have done blah, 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 so I'm going to do XYZ. I can have those goals. The next step after those goals is how. How is strategy. There are people around you who have more strategic experience than you by virtue of things that they've handled. Do you know how to ask questions? One of the people that, one of our great teachers who will be having one day come and teach us was sharing something very interesting with me. He said, Adeolu, there was this place where we spoke together in America, and the speech you gave that day, the person told me, he said, this is over how many years ago? This is over 8 years ago. He said, but there's a speech you gave in that place I've never forgotten. And that speech has served me well because I've shared it in over 100 different places. And he said, you taught us that the most important word in the English dictionary is the word ask. And that every time I go to a hotel anywhere in the world, I always ask them, is there an opportunity for upgrade today? And Adeolu said, Adeolu, you won't believe it. We are always sleeping in penthouses. We're always sleeping in amazing rooms. We're always enjoying ourselves. And every time we're enjoying ourselves, myself and my wife, we always remember you and we say, ask, ask, ask. Ladies and gentlemen, strategy is about asking. It's about questioning. It's about asking, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do you do this? How do you do this in your own case? And how can I learn? So once you set the goals and they are big, ask yourself how. Someone says, I want to become a stockist before August. Good. I want to be a stockist in July. I want to become VIP before the end of August. Those are small things. And then what? When you have become, what next? Do you want to have a team of 1,000 people? Do you want to have a team of 1,000 people that are plugged in? Do you want to have a team that fills a WhatsApp group that's plugged in? I was asking one of my team members today, what's your goal for July? What's your goal for July? If you don't have a goal, what are you going to be hitting against? If you don't have what you have said as a certificate, by the end of this month, I want to have done business worth 4 million. I want to have made 200,000 naira. I want to have made 1 million. It's a goal. You will not be driven to achieve what you don't set as a goal. Set as a goal. And once you set as a goal, go for it. So we're in the dressing room. Remember, and I'm saying your goals need to inspire you. Your goal needs to chase you to want to make new friends. Your goal needs to want to make you look for new people to join your team. Those kind of goals. You need to be audacious. You need to be bold. You need to have courage. The courage of your convictions. Ladies and gentlemen, the difference between people is not much. One head. My father used to ask me many times, the person that is coming first in your class, does he have 2 heads? I'll say no, it's one. In fact, sometimes I'll say maybe I should check tomorrow. Maybe I'm not sure how many heads the person has. What am I saying? 1 head, 2 hands, 2 legs. We're equal. The difference is, do you believe? What do you believe? Do you see yourself correctly? Do you see yourself in the eyes of the person who values you? And I'll tell you this, forgive me if you're not of my persuasion, but I look at myself and I ask myself, what does God see in me? And if I see that God sees me as valuable, then it's an insult on God to see myself as not valuable. If God sees me as useful, if God paid such a high price to secure my eternity, then I must see myself as valuable enough to be useful. Ladies and gentlemen, these first 6 months have been amazing. I'm grateful for many things. But this next 6 months, I want to achieve phenomenal things. I want us to lay a foundation that will build on for many years. And some of those foundations sometimes requires that we do a lot more than later. That in the story of our lives, there's a time when you do a rush, when you do a massive push, and then you relax and rest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you rest when you're supposed to be driven, you will drive when you're supposed to be resting. I tell people, if you dim your present, you will brighten your future. If you brighten your present, you will dim your future. If you pay now, you can play later. If you play now, you will pay later. Life is give and take. Once you are clear about the audacious goal you want to achieve this year, this is second half talk, then you need to ask yourself, what do I need to do? How will I make this happen? I want to go to VIP and stockists become 3-star by the end of this year. Okay? I like these small goals, but they will only inspire people who can be inspired by small goals. And that's why I want to challenge you to say, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Good. Now, someone here says, I want to be a stockist this month and 5-star by December. Not bad. Not bad. Question now is how? If something is your goal, and write it down. See, I have my book here. This is my book. It's pink. It says, embrace the journey. I don't know if it's really embrace the journey here. And then I have July. Goals, important dates, to-dos. In a summary version, the key things summarized: my goals, the important dates, and then my to-dos. Somebody says, first-time manager by end of 2020, create first 3-star managers, empower these 20 people with the green model business by August 2020. Good, not bad. Career, be this Ruby director by December 31st. Good, I'm liking it. Financial term, monthly passive income. Good. Help 2 women become true disciples of Jesus by December. Awesome. Weight 78 kg by end of December. Intellectual, read 1 book a month from this month. Family, spend at least 3 months with loved ones this year. Awesome. I like that. I like the goals. They're inspiring. And guess what? The energy from the goals we have is what we will use to drive them. So your vision is fuel. Your vision is fuel. The things you want to achieve gives you fuel. Someone is saying, CM, how are you able to do it? You're not sleeping on time. You're active. I don't even know how you're productive this way. It is what I want to achieve. It's what I want to do. It's what I want to accomplish. Now, some of them are not very personal. Some of them are involved in supporting others and helping others. I'm called to service. I want to serve. I have a business to build, but I want to serve. And by virtue of the things I know I must do, I find the energy. I don't search for the energy. I find the energy to be able to do the things that my vision demands. Ladies and gentlemen, if your dream, if your vision is compelling enough to you, you will find the energy. Now, not everybody moves this way. Some people learn to move incrementally and they leave it to the forces of compound interest. That's also beautiful. That's another way to go about it. So say, you know what? I want to do this incrementally. But if you do it incrementally, you will know as well that if I am doing this incrementally, in 20 years, the compounded value of what I'm doing will become enormous. So I have a mentor who we're going to listen to one of these weeks in the leadership discussion, who says to me, Adeolu, all these goal things, I'm not these goal things. I just start small and I'm doing the small thing. But guess what? When he's talking to me and he's telling me the things I should do, I go and do it on Excel and I extrapolate and extrapolate and extrapolate. And I realize that this small thing is asking me to do. If I do it in 20 years, I will be unbelievable in the scope that I'll have gotten to. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to find the energy to sustain you, to go through, to fail, to rise, to fail, and rise, you need a compelling goal. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not the goal of 20 years' time. It's your daily. So we're trying to pull what you want to achieve this year. It will come down to what you want to achieve this month. It will come down to what I want to achieve every day. It will come down to the beauty of my day. So what I begin to aggregate and compound is my day. Somebody says the greatest invention of man is compound interest. Albert Einstein. The greatest invention of man is compound interest. Meaning compound interest is so phenomenal to Albert Einstein's mind. He feels, wow, this is amazing. Because small can become big. So we're going to start from big, and we're going to realize that the way to bring that big into my current reality is spiral it into my daily life. What does this mean for my day? Okay, and once this is clear to me like that, then it's something I can begin to drive up. Always ask the question how. Very important. I also want to be free from any financial bondage, build foundation that I will live on for life. Good. Someone wants to break free from debt this year. Set the goals. Once the goals are clear, ask yourself how. Okay? How? How will I do this? And that comes to strategy. And strategy is not complicated, it's simple. If you don't find all the answers yourself, ask. Why am I reading so many books? I'm looking for strategy. Why do I have so many books behind me? It's not just because books are fine to decorate the hallway. Yeah? Can you see? There are books, there are games, there are also things there. Why? Because I'm looking for strategy. I'm looking for how. I have the things I want to achieve. I'm asking how. Answers are not in some of the books. So I ask people. Yesterday, you listened to Alex on leadership. I ask Alex questions. Next week, you're going to listen to some other people. I ask them questions. Why am I asking? Because I want to know what you have used before that worked. Don't fool yourself. If reading is not your method, then reading will not help you. Watch videos. If video is not your method, listen to audio. If they are not your method, go and play with golf with someone that is more intelligent than you. But ask how. So many good things have happened this year already. Many bad things have happened as well. There's so much to be grateful for. Reset your goals, adjust them. Yeah, adjust those goals. Define your strategies. Interact. So you have access to people. You're not using it. Let's use the access. Yeah, use your access. There's somebody whose goal is to be a blessing to somebody else, but you're not asking for help. There's somebody whose goal is to teach and disciple somebody in their faith, but you're not asking the right questions. You don't feel motivated. You need to change your company. You don't see possibilities. You need to change the books you're reading. Yeah? You need to attend more meetings where there's something that is sparking off in you. You know, I remember when I was younger, there was a friend of mine I used to gist with, and whenever we spoke like this, once we finished discussing, I just feel charged. I feel charged. And I say, I need to use this energy. You need those kind of people in your life. People who will give you energy, who will give you ginger, who are always excited, who are full of life, who are always seeing possibilities, who are optimistic. And then let them rub off on you. Pick a book, gain some value, detail your plan. You know, if you look at my table, you see paper. I'll write. I will describe, I'll draw. I have, if I achieve this is the marketing plan. This. You need to constantly be on that grind. And then once the goal is clear, the power that is made available by that vision, by that goal, will motivate you, will inspire into action. Somebody said, people are not lazy. They're only uninspired. And I'm going to close with that. So there's this very interesting story of a woman, who got to her house. She was tired. She went, I'm tired. I was going to say, how are you? Man, it's Remy, man. I'm tired. And she's lamenting, I'm tired. Things, man, today was a very tiring day and all, very boring and all that. And all of a sudden, a friend calls her and he says, did you know this thing I was looking for? I found it. He said, hey, where? And then she got up and she began to gyrate and ginger on the phone. Was she tired? No, she wasn't tired. She was only uninspired. Once inspiration comes into the conversation of tired people, they pick on life. Are we together? Same thing with you. The reason why you are lazy, why you are slow, why you are moving at the pace you are moving at is because you are uninspired. One of the things you need to search in your recalibration, so imagine this, you're watching a football match, the team is tired, they are scoring them left and right, they've lost momentum, they've lost coordination, they go back into the dressing room and they come back second half, and then they are untouchable. What happened? They got inspired. That dressing room talk entered their heads, entered their space, spark them into fire. You need that kind of inspiration. That's why we say we inspire, we connect, and we empower. If you're not being inspired, you need to go and dig up the video, go and dig up the link, go and dig up the book, go and dig up the conversation. Be inspired. Okay? If you're not inspired, somebody says you expire. Be inspired. Connect. Find someone. I'll tell you sometimes, I'll say, I like hearing this person's voice. I like hearing this person's voice. Why? There's something in their voice that makes me, that gives me, yes, we'll do this. We're in a team. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a team. You have a team. You don't know the beauty of what you have in Green Community. It's an opportunity for a team. We'll make mistakes. We'll get ourselves involved in some things that will work, some will not work. Those are part of life. Nobody is going to be perfect. But guess what? You can connect. There's value in those interactions. And then guess what? You can be empowered, because what you need to be able to achieve what you want to do is power. Somebody they say that if your hand hasn't touched the sword, don't ask for the person that killed your father. Yeah? He's saying until you are empowered, there are demands you cannot make. And the reason why some people are setting small goals is because they don't feel they have the power. You need that power. And that power, ask. What's making you so confident? Why are you so sure? How will this thing work? You need that power. And ladies and gentlemen, I have seen that power. I've seen it at work. I've seen when there was nothing and something was created. I've seen small become big. I've seen miniature become great. I've seen people grow over the years. I've seen 10 naira become 7 billion. Ladies and gentlemen. So I know that if we can take whatever it is we are doing, connect to what is possible when it compounds, commit ourselves to the daily grind of ensuring that the activity that is required to get ourselves on track is happening, boom, somewhere along the line, you're going to put 2 there and you're going to meet 200. Why? Because of leverage. Why? Because things are coming together. Why? because it is possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's already 1 hour. I wanted us to do 1 hour together. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I will take 3 questions and then I will call it a night. Any questions at all as we move out of this meeting? Now, I'm going to give you an assignment because I want us to close this. I'll give you an assignment and I'll take the assignments in the group. I'm sure we don't need to do another Zoom. What do you want to achieve by the end of the year? I'd like you to have it. Don't send it to the group, but you can get someone to hold you accountable. And you can get me as well, no problem. But get someone to hold you accountable, because the hands can't hit what the eyes can't see. Muhammad Ali. As somebody says, the talents are that yellow or gold, independent talents and rubs. So you determine how what is in your hand becomes useful. A basketball in the hands of Michael Jordan is worth millions of dollars. A basketball in my hand is just something to slap around. The quality of my talent determines the value of the things in my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, the quality of your talent, the quality of your vision, the quality of the clarity of the future you see has an impact on how what you have in your hand becomes valuable. Are you still here? Are you still here with me? If you're here with me, say yes. If you have a question, drop your question. And let's get about with it. I want us to close this in the next 3 minutes. Okay, good. I saw a question there. Say, what do you want to achieve at the end of this half year? I don't know if that question is for me, but by the end of this half year, I want to achieve a number of things. So I always have a goal on all of those wheel elements every year. So I have goals on how many people I want to empower, I want to help. And I think this lockdown period is making me do well on that side. I'm being able to provide opportunity for a number of people to get involved in business and drive things. I had a goal of 200 at the beginning of this year. I think I'm doing more than that already. This year, I want to be able to support 3 people to become movie directors. If you're one of them and you think this is your dream, this is your goal, I've already seen one of my people in this group today. I want to support you. I want to put all my energy in supporting and ensuring that we can create that kind of value. In my health, I want to, I'm trying to stay a particular weight, so I'm staying constant with that weight. Of course, for me, there's a balance between health and spiritual for me. So there's a lot of fasting that I'm doing. There's a lot of praying that I'm doing. There's a lot of study that I'm doing. And somehow they are combining together to ensure that I'm staying within the weight range that I desire. This year, by God's grace, lockdown or no lockdown, I've been able to lose about 12 kg. And somewhere 10 to 12, I'm maintaining in that space. I feel healthy. I'm not jogging and doing so much strenuous activity, but I feel good. Somehow I know I'm good. So intellectually, I want to read. I'm getting myself involved in things that I need to learn more about so that I can do well in. So I'm doing that. I want to create, so I'm what other areas, socially, I want to be friendly, so I'm trying to reach out more to my friends. Lockdown has helped me to be a little bit more friendly than I normally am because I'm so busy. But now at least I can connect with people online. I can call a few friends from time to time. So I have family goals. I want, there's a relationship I want to have with my wife, the relationship I want to have with my children. I want to be better. I want to grow. So I have those goals as well. But the beautiful thing here is document them and make them inspiring. So financial goals, make it inspiring. Yeah, there's a business I want to raise millions for dollars this year. There's in my business, that's what I want to do. I want, it's how I want it to grow. I want the products in every house. I want us to reach 1 million, to clock 1 million, the number of bottles this year. And in doing that, we must create ruby. We must create emerald this year. So let's say someone has 500,000 naira now, and the person wants to pay a debt of 800,000 naira. What can the person do to pay the debt within 2 months? Okay. I'll tell you. So I like the question. I'll tell you. So if you have 500,000 and you're owing 800,000, you do what, my recommendation for debt cancellation and debt erasement or debt payment is the Elijah method. He told the widow came to meet Elijah and said, I'm in debt and they want to take my children. They were the collateral. And this person that owned the money, my husband, was a servant of God. And what did the prophet tell him? The prophet told him, what do you have? He said, I have oil. He said, okay, good. Go and borrow buckets. Borrow not a few. Pour the oil in the buckets. And then she did. And she borrowed plenty of buckets. She poured. After a while, the bucket's finished, and then the oil finished. And then she went to the man and said, Elijah, what do I do? And he said, no, go sell the oil and pay. If you have 500K, that's what you have in your hand. Go and borrow buckets. Look for where you can get leverage. Look for where you can get connections. Look for where you can get empowered. Trade with what you have. Get significant leverage and pay. And it doesn't have to be 2 months. After 2 months, go to the person, negotiate a timeline, and be committed to that timeline. You can read the Bible stories in 2 Kings. It's an interesting story, but it shows me that even when God wants to help you, you're still going to sell. Now, you have a stereotype. People have stereotypes. Say, I don't want to sell anything. No, I want to just invest the money. No, I think when you invest money like 500,000 naira into something and you don't want to work yourself, it's an insult. It's an insult of what God created. God created work. Work is noble. And God created work before man sinned. So work is not a consequence of the fall. Consequence is before the fall. Work is before the fall. So God knew that man must work, whether man sinned or not. It means when we are redeemed and finally in our place with God, work is still on the table. Work is a beautiful enterprise that God gave as an opportunity for us to participate with him because he works. So take what you have, look for leverage, trade with it, get value, set up a timeline to pay, and ensure that you pay. Talking about asking, CM, I'm asking for an opportunity to have a job so I can have a regular income that will help with I need a job. Not having a regular income is making things tough in this business, not of doing my JMS regularly and buying products. Now, I'll tell you something. So there are things we tell ourselves. There are mental blocks, there are mindsets. Somebody calls them belief systems. Somebody else calls them bullshit. Forgive my French. But we put some things around our minds and tell ourselves, this is why I'm not doing well. Let me tell you, some of the people that I've met that have succeeded the most in this business are people who they didn't have jobs, they had debts of millions, and then they told themselves, how can I get this from what I am doing? I do not have a problem organizing structures for people to get jobs. I can get you something, I can link you up with somewhere. My HR caps are still on there, but let me tell you something. Until you tell yourself that I want to get water out of this rock, once you have a choice, you will do what your choice calls. Remember one day I went to my mentor and I said, I am tired of entrepreneurship. I want to get a job. It happened to me. Yep, about 13 years ago. And I said, what's the problem? I said, I'm not making enough money. I need something to support myself, my family. I want to go back to work and I think I can find a job. And he said, yeah, if that option is there, take it. And then I went to bed to sleep. I slept, in the town where he was, slept the night in his house. And then I woke up the next morning and I came to him and said, that thing I told you yesterday, I'm not going to do it again. I said, what happened? He said, I just thought about it and I said to myself, the reason why I want to take this is because I think I have a choice. What if I give myself no other choice? And tell myself, I will dig this well until I hit water, or I will come out on the other side. What you need to change is change the knowledge, change the association, change the perspective, because there's a way you are looking at life right now that if you can shift the way you're looking at life and you can ask yourself, what will someone else who is not thinking like me do? You will find many things that are not on the surface. And, you may not get this. I have, there are people within the company's employ that are resigning so that they can do this business full time. So, I think you need to ask yourself, you have a choice, but we succeed in a particular straight line the most when we give ourselves no other choice. Someone says men are like rivers, where we always look for the path of least resistance. But once you tell yourself, I don't want to look for the path of least resistance, I want to bore through this hole, that's how you get water. I don't know if that answers your question. Invest the money in green money in this business and drive it to make profits. Somebody has answered that question again as well. I say good evening to all and happy new month. If as a stockist, you don't have enough space to put products given, can the company permit you to take the products bit by bit? I think you can work with your leader I think the problem with the company is managing the have you taken, have you not taken it, and the inventory and warehousing system. We can work with your leader. There are many ways to do it. You can work with your team members as well. Organize them together, get them selling it faster. I don't think anybody's stock should be lasting. We need to get this, get ourselves on a momentum where we're flying. Our tires are not touching the ground. Someone says, can we have a Bible verse to support this God and work theory, please? The Bible is full of plenty of examples that support this theory. Plenty of examples. Plenty of them. Okay? Jesus Christ said, my Father worketh, that's why I work. Read Genesis. Genesis number 1, God worked for 7 days, God 6 days, and then he rested. And then he made man. And then he gave man work. He said he gave him work to tend the garden. And then when he tended the garden and he was tending the garden, he had work. And then after a while, he told him to name the animals. That was work. And then after a while, he said, look, you need help. You don't need help if you don't have work. And then he created woman. And then he says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it all your might. So I don't know which other things you need, but it's full of examples. Check the story. There was work before the fall. Okay? Jesus Christ said, my Father worketh, that's why I walk. It means after he rested, work continued with God. So you and I must learn that there is value in work. And that we will walk. After everything, there's a new heaven, there's a new earth, there's new work. Okay, I think it's a good place to pause tonight. I think I've answered all the basic key questions that we have. What's the best method of leverage in network marketing? The best method of leverage is build a team. Train your team, develop your team, duplicate yourself. Make sure that your team members are growing. That's how to get leverage. Make sure that you are creating leaders. You are building people to make you, you're getting promoted because somebody else has taken your position. It's not of people you have your team that are presenting. Not of people have your team that are driving the business. Not of people have your team that don't need you. That's success. What is the role of financial handicap in the growth of intolerance in pursuing one's goals outside? Financial handicap. There are many handicaps. That's why you need leverage. That's why you need support. That's why you need to connect. Somebody's crutch is another person's, advantage. Somebody's advantage is another person's crutch. There's someone out there who has the opposite of the problem you have and is wishing that someone like you existed. I tell people, if you feel like slapping people, there's a day that somebody's ear is itching them. The person wants to pay $1 million for the person who will cure this ear. And then you are the person that is there at the time. You can slap the person and create your wealth. I'm just using as an example. I'm playing with slapping. But I'm saying that as basic as slapping can be, it can be the reason why somebody says, I've never felt better. What can I do for you? I'm a years older. How can I get a job that can fetch me regular income in addition to the network marketing business I'm doing? Oh, there are many ways you can get additional income. Today, with digital going on, there are jobs online. There are jobs you can do remote. There's value you can add. Just make sure that you have a skill set and you have problems you can solve, and there are people who will pay you to solve that problem. Okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's another meeting I have at 8 o'clock. There's a network marketers conference that happens at 8 p.m. I need to love you and leave you. I'll see you again another time. Thank you for listening. We'll continue the group. I'll log the group after a few minutes, and then I'll share, a few things that we need to do to get ourselves set for second half. I wish you all the best. I wish you an amazing 2020. We're halfway there. There's half more to go, and there are so many things we can still accomplish. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. God bless.